we recognize Israel's right to defend itself. You know, they always add that. They recognize Israel's right to defend itself as long as Israel doesn't exercise that right. Let's imagine what would be the response of Britain if, in your case, about 15,000 people would be butchered in one day and you'd have 2,500 hostages taken. Would you say, oh, well, we should give our attackers a state right next to London? Of course not. And what would the Americans say if you had 50,000 Americans butchered and thousands of Americans taken hostage? Obviously, they'd say, no, we're not going to give them a state right in Manhattan. That's ridiculous. The standard that is being applied is just downright dangerous because you're really rewarding these monstrous terrorists with the greatest prize, and that's because of weakness. It's weakness in the face of distorted media, packed social networks, packed with bots, but it's also the radical minorities which are protesting there. Basically a hostile minority supporting monstrosities. And I think that it's shameful the way that the Western leaders in Britain, in France, in Canada, in New Zealand, the way they buckle under. Europe gone through the destruction of the Jews. 80 years later, that's what they have to say. They attack the Jewish state and they give a prize for those who would destroy the one and only Jewish state. Shameful. They commit the greatest savagery against Jews since the Holocaust. And the Prime Minister of Britain says, we'll reward you with a de facto state, which is what? Which is committed openly to repeating the October 7th massacre over and over and over again. We leave them there, and they're committed to our destruction. Then you'll have a forever war. For an organism to survive, it has to recognize danger in time. And it has two options at that point, flight or fight. And we have nowhere to flee. We're in our ancestral homeland, and we're not going anywhere. So we fight them, but we're not fighting them only on our behalf. We're fighting them on your behalf too.